Hello, everyone. This is the Meet the Team edition of our LinkedIn newsletter with Stefan Byrd-Krueger. Hello, Stefan.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good, good. Nice to see you. Uh,
Yeah.
so our first question here is a little introduction. Just tell us about yourself, where you're from, how you got started in your career.
So I am from New York, where I now again reside after about a 20-year absence. I got started in my career sort of by accident, coming out of college. When I graduated, I had studied philosophy, politics, and economics, which was the perfect degree for somebody who didn't know what they wanted to be when they grew up. And it was just through one of my classes where I had gotten a chance to do some real hands-on sort of analysis and design and development for grassroots engagement work that led me kind of falling backwards into a job down in DC at a grassroots think tank. And that first job, it was back in the aughts, in the heyday of digital sort of hitting the scene and making it big and becoming the predominant way in which organizations engaged with their audiences. They didn't know what to do with me as a young person at a think tank, and I think my title was Youth Outreach Coordinator, which of course meant I was hand coding the website by the second month and starting the Twitter account and figuring out what their email list was for. So it was just a really exciting time where there weren't many precedents in digital, and so I had a lot of latitude to be creative and sort of experiment with tools, learn what they were for, learn from my peers and at other organizations and just in my cohort.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, you finished it off nice. It's nice that you had so much room to grow, so much autonomy. Like, you could just flourish and thrive. That's awesome. So what is something people should know about you? It can be non-professional, like something that is distinct to you.
It's a tough one. I have my bio that I know is still floating out there, which is really old at this point. Hasn't been updated in a decade or two. One of the things I point out on the bio, you'll know you've got the old one if it mentions my experience as a welder. So when I was young, quite young actually, I started welding when I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13. And that was my outlet. I welded as an artist, and it was deeply satisfying. And I think having that is an artistic outlet, but something that's like, I don't know, as a medium, it's so like strong and powerful and yet sort of forgiving, like steel in particular. It lets you get away with a lot, and I think sort of working in that particular medium, but just sort of that experience as an artist, I think has translated tremendously into the way that I think about my work now. My work now is about data. I am sort of the person who thinks about all these technical digital systems, but recognizing the artistry in data work, and I think especially working in systems that have that, again, torturing the metaphor, but that malleability, the fact that you can stretch a spreadsheet to do just about anything you want and it will snap back. There's always the undo button in the realm of digital and a lot of data work. I don't know, it's something that has always been a big part of my identity, even though I haven't done it in a very long time at this point.
I find it interesting because most numbers, you're a big numbers person, like right brain, left brain. So you're a big number, you use one side, and then but most of the number of people I know are not artistic. They like can't stand it. So it's so funny that you can do both. You're really talented. Cool. What is one thing you're passionate about? If
I had to reveal a passion that hasn't been a part of our client work, it is probably for space flight, and in particular a lot of the developments that are happening right now in the commercial space sector. Say what you will about the billionaires behind a lot of those efforts. As someone who grew up watching the space shuttle and sort of grew up dreaming, watching sci-fi movies and shows and sort of dreaming about what the future could be like. I think fans of space had a tough time in the 90s and the aughts. A lot of us lost a lot of hope about the trajectory. There wasn't a lot to be impressed with. But right now, we're kind of at this turning point where the dream of spaceflight is becoming real. It is now not unreal unreasonable to suggest that you or I might go to space in our lifetime. That as a statement was just completely unthinkable and ridiculous just 10 years ago. But now it is believable at this point.
It's a scary thought for me to be out in space. I can't even comprehend. Like, I know it's real. Obviously, science is real, but to me, I'm like, there's nothing out there. Like, it's just this. Too big for my brain. How do you show up for people you love?
In person as much as I can. I mean, taking that quite literally. That was a part of why I'm now back in New York, so I could be close to my folks, as they continue to age gracefully, and I am aging gracefully. As much as I pride myself and my company on our remote culture and how well we can connect remotely, and we worked a lot on that as a family, especially through the pandemic, recognizing that having people together and making space for people to connect is really important. And I think as a family, we have a lot of traditions around that. The dinner table and sort of, family reunion style gatherings. Yeah, I think that means a lot to me, just giving people that physical, literal space to connect.
You like to give them yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Our last question here, just like our podcast, what song gets you motivated, gets you going, builds you up?
It's another really tough one for me, and I'm a bit swayed by recent experience, and just saying again, I've got my 2 kids, but the Frozen soundtrack, and especially Frozen 2.
You like Frozen 2?
Yeah, Frozen 2 in particular. Those songs, they truly, figuratively and literally hit the high notes. Yeah, so I think those are big ones.
Nice. Thank you for joining us, Stefan, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.